Guys, listen, before I say anything, don't ever come for me again saying, "Oh, well, you could still make an episode. You could still make an episode without a microphone." Look, this is not the time to fuck around. Okay? Welcome back to Quack and Faggots. Today, I have a guest. My guest here is
Oh, I said my name right. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm Nate. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to talk about the various discussions we'll talk about on this podcast. Number one listener, been following for as long as I can remember. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh my gosh, guys, do you know that we are talking to a Yubo celebrity?
Oh my
Guys,
gosh,
guys, we are
don't
talking
flatter
to
me.
the 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 main man on the Ubos. Before we say anything, I should probably be like, "Oh, hey, like so this is how we met." Should I say how we met? Should I say how we met?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. We met online.
That was so underwhelming. Okay, well, we met online.
So we met online back in 2019 when we were
The
just
OG
two
days.
just two kids on the
Two
webs.
kids that got access to internet at a very young age.
Yeah, have a hard time making actual friendships in real life. So you gotta resort to online
The
shenanigans.
best way to find friends, honestly.
Exactly. So yeah, we've been friends since 2019, and it's been a while. It's been a while.
Oh yeah.
You want to tell them your Sorry, I got a burp. Your what's your pronouns? What's your stuff?
Oh, so like
Out
all of them
yourself. I'm just
out myself, of course. Okay.
kidding.
It's 2025, okay? Okay, so okay, like I said, my name's Nate. Some people call me Nate, some people call me Nat. I really don't give a fuck. My pronouns are they, them. So I'm one of them they thems, one of them queers. Okay, you got a
You're
problem
a
with that? There,
non-binary.
there's the fucking door, bitch.
You're a non-binary.
I'm one of them non-binary septum having motherfuckers.
Damn, that's crazy. Then I misgendered you like twice already.
Well, the cool thing about being non-binary is I'm like everything and nothing. So like Loki, you could never misgender me.
Uh, that kind of ate though.
Loki, hey Slate.
Loki, that kind of
Anyways,
ate.
what was I saying? Oh, I also like Loki have short-term memory loss. I literally forgot what I was saying.
You were saying that you're
Oh, right.
non-binary.
Right. Okay, slay. So yeah, I'm non-binary. I'm gender non-conforming. I'm gonna sound so. This is so funny to say. Okay, so it's very long. Gender non-conforming, androgynous, transmasculine. Period.
Period. Damn.
Period. Slay. I'm
You're one of
surprised you
those
even remembered that.
alphabet folks.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them alphabetical queers.
You got pronouns? Sick.
Pronouns. I got hella pronouns. What you need?
What you need, huh? Tell me,
I
ask me,
got
and I'll.
that. I got that on deck.
All right. Well, now that we've cleared the air,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so what we want to talk about today is the weird. Can you hear the dog in the background?
No, I can't hear no dogs.
Okay, cool. Um, the weird phenomenon of trans masculine people, honestly, mostly trans men.
Yeah.
The weird toxic masculinity slash competitive aura of that group of people.
Yes. Oh, my girlfriend just came home.
Hey,
Oh shit, sorry. Shit, sorry, my bad. I don't know.
You can't cuss on here. We're a
Are you
family channel.
gonna lose your monetization if I say the F word?
Monetization.
Ah, fuck.
I don't
How
have
would you
that.
say it again?
I cuss like a sailor on this.
Okay,
It's all
good.
about it's all
Yeah,
about the love.
we'd be saying.
Mama needs to smoke a bowl.
Mama's gonna smoke a bowl right now.
Mama needs her smoke.
You need your smoke.
Anyways,
You better do that. But yes, that's what we are chit chatting about. We both
yes.
have been out in the shit for a while, so I fear that we have some experience in it.
Yeah, we got a pretty good understanding of everything. I mean, well, first off, I guess it's like just, well, how long have you, I feel like you've already covered this, but just for like the episode's sake, like how long have you been presenting, like, as a man, and how long have you been on like hormones and this and that?
Came out when I was the summer before my freshman year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know how many years that is though, but I'm pretty sure it's about to be 10 or 11.
Mm.
It's a long time. I've only been on hormones since like 2021 or 2020. Yeah, 20. Yeah, on and off, on and off for
Yeah,
5
like it's kind of
years.
blurry. I remember the date I started, but everything after that just became a blur. But I'm pretty sure. So I socially came out in high school, and it was during high school. So it was during the summer. So it was my sophomore year going into my junior year, and I was taking summer school. And I remember going off summer break. You know how you have that little gap year where it's like, oh, hey, you're done with school, and then you have that week before you start summer school. That's basically the week where my mom was like, well, we're gonna go get haircuts. It's either now or never. So I said, hells yeah. So I hopped in that Subaru. I remember the car. I hopped in that Subaru. I went to go get, I pulled
Facts.
up the Supercuts. Right? I pulled up the Supercuts. I sat in that chair. I don't remember the guy's name, but I remember who he is. And he was, funny enough, also queer.
Oh,
And
period.
he sat me in that chair and he said, I'm going to change your life today. And you know what? He did. I'll say that cut was definitely interesting. I'm pretty sure I have a picture and I can send it to you. But that cut, I mean, it was short. I mean, he did the job. He got paid.
He got paid.
He did his job. He executed it. Now, was it everything I wanted? No, but I mean, whose first haircut, gender confirming haircut is? I mean, at least for me,
Yeah, I can't
it
say that about mine.
was
Mine
not
went
it.
crazy.
Yeah, mine. Yeah. Anyways, that was just you know what? It was short, and that's all I really. Beggars cannot be choosers.
No, literally, it was short. You didn't have long ass hair anymore.
Right. Okay. So yes. So basically, after that, I went to summer school, and then everyone was like, who the fuck is that?" And I was like, it's literally me, guys.
Guys, it's
And
really me right now.
also, by the way, this is my name. These are my pronouns. Thank you very much. And you know what? Surprisingly, coming from Bakersfield, it wasn't that hard for people to adapt to my choice of pronouns and my name. Surprisingly, I mean, you're always gonna have those people that have their own opinions, and I mean, you can't change the world. Like my mom always told me, you can't change everybody's perspective on it. So you kind of just have to go in, with an open mind, open heart, and if some people can adapt, that's cool. If some people can't, no biggie. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously back then I was a little sour apple about it, and I was like, "What the fuck? You guys are just fucking transphobic
You
motherfuckers."
literally just misgendered me.
You would have just misgender me, and I will see you in court, bitch.
I will literally
Like,
see you in court.
yeah, it was one of those situations. So, I mean, I end up, you're right, I get my hair cut and everything, and then my mom basically told me like, "Hey, you have your hair cut, and that's that." But in a way, she was like, "You're still gonna be a woman to me. Like, you're still gonna be a girl." And I was like,
You.
okay, this is literally the worst and the best day of my life. What the fuck? Bro, I was just standing there with my fucking haircut, bald, almost bald as fuck, being like, "You're a woman, bitch, and you always will be."
And you'll always be a woman in my
I
eyes.
was like, "Okay, well, that was something." Closed the door, cried for a little bit, had the best nap afterwards. I'll say that.
Real.
Um, and yeah, and then the years kind of just went by. She started to notice that like nothing really was changing about it. She noticed like I was actually like a real ass bitch, and I was like, you know what? This is who I am. This is what I want to be. This is just what makes me feel like me. And eventually, I literally remember it my senior year after graduating, I turned 18, and she said, "Well, you're 18. You can do whatever the fuck you want, basically. But you're gonna have to figure it out, and you're gonna have to get a job to pay for pretty much everything." And so I said, "Say less." I
Say
hopped on that
less.
little computer, got my little insert card out. I was on Kaiser, had an appointment the next day. I
Damn.
clocked the fuck in. I
You really
clocked in.
did.
I clocked in. I got me a little job the week after that. Jack in the Box. Shout out Jack in the Box. Actually, no, fuck Jack in the Box. But for the
Oh,
one time, for the money,
for the
we
money?
appreciate you. We
Slay.
appreciate you. Slay.
Slay.
Slay. But fuck Jack in the Box. We'll get into that later. But
Real. Real.
we'll get into
Real.
that Jack in the Box tea later. But
Real.
that's basically how, I mean, I just, I ended up getting on testosterone at a very young age. I mean, for me, it was I was able to access that like super fortunate to be able to have an insurance and a family
Yeah.
that in a way was like, okay, you can do it, just figure it out, and have the resources to be able to start that transition in my life. It was very fast. It was very sudden. I started gender therapy in June of 2019, and then I ended up getting on testosterone. I think literally within 2 weeks.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, they kind of just, I mean, she pretty much told me from the jump, she was like, hey, well, just to let you know, this is kind of like a fast ride. Like, I'm gonna basically we're gonna have the therapy appointment, and then afterwards, we're kind of just gonna determine how much you need this hormone to, to be mentally stable, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, so, so basically, that's kind of what happened. Um, yeah, and the next 2 weeks I started testosterone. I was on it for almost 6 years, so
Damn.
that's cool. Yeah, I was on it for 6 years. I haven't been on it since January of this year because I don't know. I've kind of come to the point where I'm kind of content where I am in my transition. I don't feel like I need to keep on taking this hormone. Um, Yeah, so it's just I kind of reached a point where I'm like, I'm pretty content where I'm at right now. Of course, like I have days where I'm kind of dysphoric and, everything's kind of like being off it for so long.
Yeah.
Everything's kind of coming back onto my body, But it's kind of something I've learned to just kind of accept that I'm like, okay, well, this is going to happen. I'm not going to hate myself for it. I'm just going to, try to learn to love myself all over again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a struggle. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
it's every day is kind of another day to learn how to love myself properly.
Damn. That's kind of deep.
Hells yeah,
Hells yeah.
hells yeah. I just give you like the whole lore background,
Yeah, you did. That's good though.
but hell yeah,
That's because everyone's different, and it's good
right,
to know different stories.
yeah,
Because
definitely,
some people like just take one story and they're like, that's how it has to be." Because I know that's how I was when I was younger.
yeah.
I would watch like Calvin Guerra and be like, "I literally have to do that."
Oh my gosh,
Not the
dude,
jump
Calvin
scare.
Guerra, that was like that you just get me PTSD. Not the oh my gosh, and that's just like that. I feel like that's such an important focal point for the topic today. Just Calvin Guerra, like that should speak for itself.
No, literally.
Like, oh my gosh, that man.
Hello.
Well, apparently,
That.
I don't want to misgender anybody, but I think he or they go by they them now. I don't really keep up with their socials, but I did see something on TikTok, so for safety precautions, I'm gonna go with they them for now. But
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, I'm
I
pretty
wouldn't be
sure. I don't know,
surprised.
unless somebody was trolling, but for
I don't know.
educational purposes and for press like past present. references, we're just gonna refer to him
Calvin
as him
Gera.
being the time being when he was making media. He went by him.
Yeah, when they're relevant to us.
Right? Yeah. To the whole trans community.
Yeah, literally. Low key
Yeah.
kind of crazy work.
That was. Oh my gosh! I'm like trying to remember everything that happened in that time. That was, and a lot of trans men are so impressionable
Facts.
in the beginning of their transition. So to have a social presence and like have such a strong presence in the trans community and make media like that, I felt like it was so. Oh my god! It started like this wave of just
Crazy.
gatekeeping and
Yeah.
toxic masculinity. It was kind of a scary point because I even went through such a bad point of toxic masculinity of this almost like competition phase within everybody in the community at one point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was scary.
Yeah, me too. I was doing it bad. I was bad. I was bad about it.
Yeah.
I wasn't on T for a couple months, but that's not because I didn't want to be. It's because I was avoiding it.
Oh, you're like you were just kind of like I don't know if I'm ready for that.
No, I was just well, I went from shots. I did
Hmm.
shots for a while, and I sucked at keeping up with them because I don't like it. I don't like the in my muscle type shit. And then I
Yeah, I
went
don't blame you.
literally it was literally the worst thing I've ever fucking felt. And then I went from that to gel. I was on gel for a while, and
Hmm.
then we went to Hawaii, and I didn't take it when I was in Hawaii because I was having so much anxiety that I was like gonna rub it off onto my girlfriend. So
Oh
I
yeah.
stopped, and I just didn't. I was like, I'll just get back on it when I get back home. She's like, okay. And then every day she'd be like, did you do your gel? And I'm like, nope. And I didn't do it for months, and I barely just got back on testosterone. Um,
Like the gel.
no, I now I'm on shots again, but they're the ones that go into the fat instead of the muscle. Okay, guys. I'm just gonna interrupt that real quick and answer some of the questions because um we did not answer any of you guys' questions when we first recorded this. So this is me from the future, and I'm just gonna real quick answer a bunch of the questions that you guys have been asking me that I literally have not and like even I have not answered any of them. So I'm gonna answer them right now. Okay. Okay. Let me find them. Okay, well, hi guys. Thank you guys for listening to my episode. I've already said in the beginning of this episode that I am so sorry for ignoring you guys. Okay, I'm gonna start with this one. These are the new ones. I'm gonna go back and look at some old ones to answer, but this one says, "Do you have any weird experiences about being trans and traveling or while traveling?" I can't say that I necessarily have. I mean, probably, probably. I'm trying to think of something. Okay. I feel like the only thing I've ever had issues with while traveling were like people being confused about my ID or something like that. I feel like it was more like people looking at me crazy in bathrooms more than literally anything else. Okay, so that was probably a shitty ass answer, but that's all I have for you, to be honest. Here we go. Um, I'm just gonna answer this one. Okay. Um, this one says, "Do you take testosterone? If so, how has that been?" I have. We're gonna talk about that, or we have already talked about that in this episode. It's been cool. It's been great. I've had issues with shot anxiety and stuff like that. So you know, um, take that as you please, I guess. Okay, here's another. Um, What are your views on transgender people getting discharged from the military? I think that it's fucking stupid, and I don't understand why they don't just let people who want to. I'm using quotes on this because I genuinely don't understand. I don't understand why they are filtering or why can't they just fight with you? Why does it matter? If anything, oh man, I can't say that. I'm not gonna say that. But I think it's stupid. I don't think that you should filter out like who gets to fight and who doesn't. Like, that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. If you want to fucking go to the military and sell your soul to the government, go right the fuck ahead. Why is that any of anyone else's business? What the fuck does it matter? What the fuck does it actually matter? My cat just knocked over my ring light. That's nice. Another question that I got was, can you, or have you cut off your, if you basically asked me if I've ever had top surgery. I do not have top surgery. I am behind on that. Okay, wait. I'm not behind. I just haven't got it yet. So, hopefully that comes sooner or later. Hopefully sooner, not later. I'd love that, please. Okay, yeah, I think that's all of the questions that you guys asked. And before I go back to the regular episode, I just want to say thank you guys for being patient with me. I really appreciate it. I really didn't want to continue without a mic. And also, I am busy because I am an adult. So, I have a couple episodes planned. I don't think that I'm gonna post weekly, maybe once every other week, but we'll see. Honestly, I almost just want to post whenever the fuck I feel like it, and blah blah blah. Because also, this is family business. This is not everybody is listening to this shit. This is not a fucking 1 million view thing. This is like maybe 100 people that listen to this, and this is family business. This is me and you. Me and you are rocking together. Okay, me and you on the other side of this, and. If you like to listen to it, then you can listen to it. If you don't want to listen to it, whatever. But I have a couple episodes coming out soon that I will. I'm gonna post on Instagram the thing for you guys to ask because I am going to need questions for those bad. I'm going to don't want to. Okay. I'm gonna have an episode with my mom. That's the big one. That is the one I am very excited for. So, keep an eye out on Instagram for that question thingy, and it's gonna you ask my mom whatever you want. Don't ask stupid shit. If you ask stupid shit, I'm not gonna ask her. But literally, like, if you guys have questions for my mom, like, put it in there, and I'm going to continue let you guys listening to the episode. We are now talking about my obsession with Katy Perry when I was younger, so have fun.
Dude, she low-key slayed during that time.
No, she literally did. That's why I loved her so much. That's why I was a cat. What did they call us? Catty cats? Yeah.
Catty cats.
Before I cut my hair short, I dyed my hair to look like Katy Perry's hair, and then I
That's cunt.
shaved half of it, and then I cut it short.
That's hella cunt.
I brought in a picture of Ruby Rose, so my mom would let me do it.
You're fucking lying. That was my haircut inspo. It was Ruby Rose.
It was Ruby Rose, like, because if I'd show my mom a picture of like a dude, she'd be like, "No, you cannot get that." And then I would show her a picture of like Ruby Rose.
You're so fucking real for that. The same thing happened to me. Because my mom, I had to beg my mom, and she was like, fine, but if you go and cut your hair short, you better not want a penis next.
Ooh, shocker. Shocker, I want a cocker.
Plot twist.
Damn, that sounded crazy.
I was like, who gonna tell her?
Wait, could you hear that?
Yeah. Who gonna tell her? I said, yeah, what the fuck? I said, no. I love having a vagina. What the hell?
I'm
I
a
would never do
woman.
that to. I would never do that to her.
To your vagina?
I would never do it. And then I got my haircut and I said, who want me?
Question: when you cut your hair short, did all the girls want you?
Honestly, I didn't really get the audience like was expecting.
Damn.
I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm about to get so many bitches. And then you know what? I pulled up to school and people it was digging me and shit, but it was hard to tell between who wanted me and who was just looking at me because they were like, what the fuck? Chop.
Yeah. Chopped.
And the little thing in my brain was like, oh my god, they want me. But then I was like, wait, I'm chopped, okay?
Holy shit, they want me so bad. They can't keep their hands off me. Holy shit.
No, seriously.
Holy quap.
Holy
They,
crap.
holy quap, they want to kiss me on the mouth.
Do you want
Okay, what the flags?
At that age, you're so impressionable, and for me, I was just desperately looking for something to just like cling on to, like literally anything.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I need to educate myself because it was a feeling I was feeling for so long, and I felt so disconnected. And for the first time in my life, when I was able to educate myself from the social media presence, like I was actually for the first time being like, oh wow, like this this is me and I want to learn more so I can better, understand myself.
No, seriously, I was watching all of them. I was watching Calvin Guerra, Storm Ryan. I was
Mm.
watching this other guy. I think his name was Tyler. I can't remember his last name.
Oh, I can't remember. I know who you're talking about though. I see it in my brain,
Yeah, just
but
a just a
so
guy.
many. I would specifically watch the videos of the people that have like going through testosterone, like the timelines. Ooh, those would like those videos. I would be like, oh my god, I need this in my body right now.
OMG, no way. Testosterone can make me sexy? That's
I know.
crazy.
Specifically, like I would watch like the 1 month to 6 month ones because those would like it would just be so cool to see like just it's always like the fourth or fifth month their voice would just like drop super low out of nowhere
Yeah, that's
and I'd
true.
be like, damn, I need that.
I need that bad. It's so
I
weird
need
though
that.
because for me, I didn't make any videos. I didn't make anything to like try to like track anything. And in my head, I don't see or hear any changes. But then like I talked to like people that I haven't talked to in years, like the other day, randomly got on a random like three-way call with this dude that I knew in high school, and he was like, "Huh?"
No, yeah. No, like even for me, like when I would talk to you and stuff like that, like I noticed so much like your voice like being so deep, versus like when we used to like just call each other on the phone. It's really cool to like watch from
Squeak
another
McGee.
person's perspective. Yeah, you
No,
got
for real.
you became what is it? You went from twink to twonk.
Twink to twonk is crazy work.
The twink to
No.
twonk transition is crazy.
Bro, no, literally, because when I did meet you, I was actually a twink.
Bro, we were both giving twink.
We
But
were
not as
both
like
giving twink.
at that point in our life, not like both of us, like we were still experimenting with like our sexuality.
True.
So we were both like, obviously into men too. And I just remember both of
Facts.
us at that time, like we were just into twinks. Like we were just like, yeah, I love me a good twink.
No, I
And I
actually
said,
think that we had a conversation that we were like, yeah, we only like twinks.
bitch, we are the twinks.
No,
Like we are the twinks.
literally. What the
I said,
fuck were
I
we going on
think we
about?
just like people that look like us, low key.
Yeah, that
But at the point,
definitely
I was like,
faded
yeah, I
away
love me a
after a
good
while.
twink. I love me a good twink. But I think it literally was just like the the little person in my body that was just so desperately trying to fit this like masculine agenda.
No, seriously. I
Yeah.
wanted to go out there and work on some cars. I wanted
No,
to
yeah.
change some oil. I wanted to get my hands dirty. And then in reality, like I was like, no, I don't want to actually do any of that.
She like, actually?
Actually,
I
I don't.
I'm not. I don't feel like I don't want to do this.
I don't wanna. I don't wanna. I don't wanna do that. I'm just kidding. I was lying.
I'm just joking.
I'm literally just kidding. I'm just lying.
I think I think
Let's see.
also with like what's super common within the specifically the FTM community is just overcompensation.
No, for real.
Like because of dysphoria and feeling like invalidated on a daily basis, especially for those people that aren't financially or fortunately enough to go on those hormones. Like when they're able to finally get like be able to go on those hormones, um, it just feels so good to be like finally like gender affirmed
Yeah.
that in a way your mind just it's like a drug. Like your brain is just like, "Oh my God, I love this feeling of, finally being able to be like who I am and having the social aspect of it be so affirming
Yeah.
that you feel like you have to prove yourself, but you overcompensate proving yourself. That's a problem I had. I was like, I need to be super fit. I need to have the deepest voice. I need to have the best clothes. I need those clothes to fit masculine and how the way I want it. I need to have like basically no sign of, for one, that I'm trans, and two, that I used to be a woman.
Yep.
And as if I can just erase that entirely and fit into the cisgender role, then I'm exactly where I need to be.
No, literally. I was actually I was trying to record this episode the other day and it just wasn't working out in my favor. But
Hmm.
I feel like this is a good time to talk about that. But uh there's like this trend going on TikTok right now, and it's like a trans person standing there, and
Hmm.
the caption is like, "What gives it away?" That's all it is. That's the whole video. It's just a trans person like standing there, like maybe like doing a fit check or maybe like doing a little dance or something, and they're like,
Hmm.
"Be honest, what gives it away?" And then you go to the comments, and it's just a bunch of cis people being like, "Everything, literally everything gives it away. Everything gives it away."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Huh? Huh?"
And like I empathize so deeply with the person that posts that because you can
So
tell they
did
come
us.
from a place of just disparity. They're just like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm so tired of just socially being perceived as a woman or people just misgendering me. What can I do to fix this? And you're gonna run into these people that are just gonna be like, you could be skinnier, or you could like, I don't know, like dress a little bit more this way, and it's just, I hate that I went through that, and like you said, like seeing those type of posts, it just makes me so sad.
Yeah.
It's just like, damn, like I was that person for so long, like so long, and it just, all those years looking back on it, like looking at old pictures of me, I was like, I honestly looked fine. Like I was happy until I created this formula in my brain where this formula that I was never going to be enough, because I truly was. You keep making these expectations for yourself, and then it just keeps going up and up, kind of like a drug. Like once you get used to it, you just want more.
Yeah.
So I was never going to be fully satisfied. So I was digging my own grave essentially.
Pretty much. And you like the biggest thing is like trying to appeal to the cis person eye, and that's something that I also had to like kind of try to get out of my brain. It's still there. I still struggle with it,
Hmm.
but once you get rid of the like cis person approval, then it's like holy shit. It's like you finally realize that being cringe is really free. It's really freeing. I'll
Yeah.
be cringe. Okay, so my red hair is cringy. Okay, and I never cared.
Yeah, it's unfortunate though. Like it takes so many years of beating yourself up to get to a point where you're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, I low key fuck with the way I look. I love the way I sound. I like the way I present myself. I'm not afraid to let people know that I'm queer, I'm trans masc, I'm non-binary. Like it takes a lot to get to that point,
It
but
does.
honestly, that's what kind of just makes getting to that point so meaningful in the end.
That's true.
Like you're just like, fuck yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Like I didn't have one of those experiences until maybe like around last year, when I was working and nobody at my work, some people knew, but not a lot of people knew at my work that I was trans. And at one point, I just talked to all my friends in the car, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I was like, guys, I just want to let you know, like, I'm trans. Like I'm, like I was born a woman, and like I transitioned to a male really early on in my life, and like I told them all about it, and literally nothing changed. Like it was just
Yeah.
like they were just like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. Like you're still our dog, and like we fuck with you, and you're like literally we went to work, and nothing changed. And I just looked at myself in the mirror, and I was like, wow, like it took me so long to just like do something that I've been so scared of doing for so long that it was just like, man, like you waited so long to do that when all this time, like these people, it was a blink of an eye to them, but for me, it was a whole entire chapter.
Right.
So, I
Damn,
mean, book,
that's
even if
deep.
that, yeah, like it was like, damn, like, so for them, it's just another day of work, and then, I told them a little something about myself, but for me, it's like, holy fuck, like, I was
Can't believe I
shaking,
just
like,
said
and I pissed
that.
myself. Right. It was just, it was nuts. So, I feel like that's like not talked about enough too in the toxic masculinity community of like being a like masculine is that being scared to like represent yourself because you just want to appear as like cisgender.
Yeah. And I was like having a thought process about people who are stealth,
Right.
and I was like, as much as I would sound nice, I feel like I'm just kind of like hiding a piece. I'm hiding a piece of myself, which like in
Yeah.
when I'm like meeting random people like in the wilderness, I could literally give less of a shit what they think about
Hmm.
whatever. But like I feel like people that I want in my life, I should probably like I want to tell them about it. But that's the thing though. I be testing people if they don't react good enough, if they don't react like in a decent way to when I tell them that I am trans. I literally don't want to even talk to them. Like you're not even worth it, bro. Get out of
Yeah.
my
Like surrounding,
face.
like being able to check your surround, because that is important, like you can meet someone and they're totally cool with you, but then like any moment where like they know you're trans and they're not cool with that, that could put you at risk. There's a lot of crazy people in this world that, still don't understand, and that's totally okay. But you gotta always just like prioritize your safety and make sure that you're around
Yeah,
people that aren't gonna put you in harm's way when it comes to, being trans, unfortunately.
for real, for real. No one at work knows. I don't tell them.
Yeah, because it's honestly and at that point it's never about you're ashamed of who you are. It's a safety issue.
Yeah, they're freaks. They're freaks. They're racist. My second day at work, someone said, "You know what? I hate transgenders." Huh? Huh? I'm sitting right next to you. What are you talking about? Okay. I don't do that. Don't talk to me. I don't like that.
Wait, you're hella glitching right now.
No, don't glitch. Am I still
Wait,
glitching?
no, I think you're good now.
Okay, okay.
Okay, we're
But
back. We're back.
yeah, I've had to unlearn some stuff, and also the fact that I don't really have like trans friends like in person. You're like
Mm-hmm.
really the only trans friend I have, except oh well, now I have a friend that's trans that I hang out with in person. But like before that, I only hung out with cis people, and most of them are straight. And I would be like on the porch or doing something, drinking a beer, grilling or something, and they would just say something that was just so fucking straight, man, cis of them, and I'm just like,
Dude, yes.
I can't do this.
Being
You gotta
being
go.
in being in community, that's another thing. When you start passing, like when you start going on to testosterone, you start socially passing. In a way, that's another thing that makes the toxic masculinity community of trans males so toxic because you just feel so good being able to roll with a cisgender clique that, can't, you know, spot you out,
Yeah,
They just like, they say things, and in a way it's just you just feel guilty. Like you're just like, man, what you guys are saying is not okay. Like you
right.
are
Like, why would you
this
just say that? That's
this
crazy.
is not okay. But you do have those people, you know, even I'm at fault for this too. Like you just feel such a high being around these trans men, these cisgender men, that you're just like, I just want to be one of the boys. So
Yeah.
then you come into the habit of saying these things, and it changes your character and your demeanor and your personality, and the next thing you know, you're a fucking shitty person. All because at the end of the day, it was just so gender affirming.
Yep.
And you can't just like, it's shitty. And like, what's right and what's wrong. So when you go home at the end of the day, you're just like, man, why the fuck did I say that? Or like, why the fuck was I around that situation and didn't speak up? Or I don't know, just like,
Why'd I like not say anything?
right, yeah, like, why didn't I advocate for myself in that point? Why didn't I advocate for other people? Why didn't I advocate for the trans community at that point?
Yeah, for
It's
real.
it's so, you feel so guilty because you're just like, I know what's right and what's wrong, but you just feel so good because you just feel like for a second everything just like connected at that point in time.
Yeah, and like you were chill to them in
Yeah,
their eyes. You weren't like, well, don't say that. You're like, damn, you're chill because you didn't get mad that I said something terrible about a
right.
woman.
Yeah,
And then you get home and you're like, damn, why'd they say that? That's crazy work, actually. Why'd you say that with
right.
your whole chest?
And then you have to come to a point where you're like, you know what, I'm also the problem too. Like
Facts.
I did say some things and this and that, and then you just have to, at the end of the day, you just gotta like, for one, you gotta forgive yourself and be like, hey, I messed up. But that doesn't mean that any of that shit was okay.
Yeah,
And as time goes on, you just got to do better. You got to be better. You got to be a better example for other young trans men in this
facts.
community, because I would hate for another trans person to go through everything that I went through, because that would just, I mean, sometimes you need it for character development, but
Yep.
at the same time, if I can prevent things for another trans person, like, by all means, I'm going to do that.
Yeah, seriously. There and I feel like the for me the most I did that was in high school because it went from like all of this like very specific group of guys. I actually talked about them in my last episode, but this very specific group of guys didn't like me. They like hated me. They had like a group chat. They would always talk shit, and
Hmm.
it ended up being like they were like chill with me because they could say whatever they wanted in front of me, and I wasn't gonna say anything because if I did, then they would be like, "See, I told you, you're a woman," and I'd be like,
Well,
"What? What would you say that to me?" Then I'd get
yeah, it's
sad.
like, what the fuck?
But then it got to a point where I was like, "No, don't say that," and then they were like, "Fuck you." And I'm like, "Okay, well then, why are you talking to me?"
You're like, okay.
Okay, honestly, your views are awful and I don't like to hear your fucking voice talk. Hello? You're annoying me. Get out of my face, you stupid white
You're
boy.
like, you're fucking weird.
You're literally so fucking weird. Why did you say that in front of my face? Or
You're
like,
like, okay, you're fucking chopped. Next.
yeah, no, seriously. Or the people who are transphobic to everyone except you. You're the one exception.
Yeah,
I ran into that a lot.
yeah, I run into that a lot too, and I'm like, I don't know what to say to
If you're gonna hate one of us, you better hate us all, because I'm gonna rock with them.
that.
I don't want to
Right,
rock with you, man.
right.
I don't. I
You're
don't.
like,
I
what?
don't care.
That's such a weird thing to say too, because it's like, what does that mean? Like, it's like being like, yeah, you know what? I fucking hate your community, but you're pretty cool, bro. It's like,
Yeah,
um,
like I actually want all of you dead, but like you're chill, huh?
yeah, it's
I'm
like,
all
don't you
of them.
think like maybe the reason you like me is because you took the chance to get to know me and you didn't marginalize trans people as just their identity instead of like dividing that from their character, and maybe like got to know them, and then maybe you can determine whether you like a person based on who they are and not what they identify as. I don't know,
Yeah,
maybe that's it.
because queer people can be pieces of shit too.
Right, yeah, 100%. I've met a lot of gay men that were something else,
Don't get me
and you
fucking
know what?
started.
And I've met a lot of wonderful gay men that are God bless them. They're beautiful creations, but it's one of those things where it's like, don't blame the community, blame the people. Like,
Facts.
I can sit here and say not every cis person is a horrible person, and there's a lot of cis people, there's a lot of allies, but there's also a lot of bad apples that. So I'm not gonna blame cis people. I'm gonna blame the people responsible for being fucking, for being bad people.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie though. I do put cis straight men under an umbrella. I'm not gonna lie to you. I do it. I do it because a lot of them are stupid. But two of my best
true.
friends are cis straight men.
Yeah, you always have those. I don't know. It really just depends on the community they grew up in, like their family views, this and that. Because you can teach ignorance, but you
Yeah.
also can unteach ignorance.
Yeah.
It's
You
not
can
something you're
unlearn
just
it.
yeah, it's not something you're born with. It's not like, well, I was born with an ignorant family, I guess I gotta stay ignorant. It's like, no, like that's what maturing is, that's what growing up is. And if you want to stay within that bubble, that's 100% you, but just don't come into my bubble. That's when we got a problem.
Yeah. Like you could go fuck off, but like, yeah, it's
Respectfully.
yeah.
Respectfully,
Sometimes.
you can like fuck off. Unless you come into my bubble, then we're gonna be like mad disrespectful.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna get pissed off at you, and I'm gonna be rude.
Right, right.
I kind of have a problem where I just like get so mad at people that I just am like, why are you talking to me? And then I get rude. But I'm growing as a person.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here doing
One
arts
of
and
the things.
crafts.
Oh my god, Slay, what are you doing?
I'm just cutting one of these stickers because I just had a thought that I wanted it on my water bottle. But
Oh my god, I want to do arts and crafts. I'll do that when I go back inside. But I feel like one of the things is just, I don't know, and most importantly within that community is it's just like the lack of like healthy male role models too.
that's very true.
Because like we were talking about, Calvin Guerra, he was not a healthy role model at the time
No, he
for
wasn't.
impressionable young trans men. He was, telling people that if you didn't experience gender dysphoria, then you were not a trans man. Like, and it's just, I don't know, it was just a bunch of hullabaloo and just kind of cornering people and also like gatekeeping dysphoria. Like, hmm? Like, who are you to tell someone what they can and cannot do? And who are you also to tell someone what they feel? Like, just because they don't want to, like, rip their fucking chest off and fucking rip and, like, just because they don't want to rip their skin off doesn't make them any less of a man than you are. It's what's just so weird for me. Like, being now just thinking about it, but at the time I was like, that's so true. Like, if you are okay with your tits, then you cannot be a trans man. You're not valid to transition. And looking at it now, I'm just like, okay, why was I so mad that somebody wanted to do something that made them happy? Like, why? Like,
True.
why was I so bothered by someone just being themselves and wanting what they think is best for them at the end of the day?
That is true.
It's just so
It was
weird.
weird. Yeah, it was weird because in one year I had that kind of stuff, and then in the other year I had my family telling me that I wasn't real.
Oh yeah. So like in one of your ears you're just it's just a lot of teen angst. It's a lot of
Yeah,
heavy hormones flowing through your body. You don't know how to control your anger. You don't know how to control any emotions for that matter. And being told these things, it's just adding fuel to the fire at that point.
literally. Yeah, and it's just the trying to appease to the cisgender of it all.
Right.
That's that's a crazy big one for me at least. I
Yeah,
know
no, for
I
me
notice a
too.
lot. There's like I saw this thing like this thing on TikTok. What was it? It was something like trans med people are coming back or something.
What's that?
Trans med is basically what Calvin Garrow was.
Oh, like yeah.
That's like what it is. I actually have been seeing a lot of trans women doing the same thing Calvin Garrett did.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually seeing the trans woman thing a lot too. Like, I've
Mhm.
seen less of trans men side, and now it's a
Yeah.
lot common for the trans woman now, which is so surprising to me. But at the same time, hearing these women speak, I'm just like, oh, wow. Like, this is just we're just like round two, just collision in the community all over again.
Yep. Like there's a couple of them. I don't even know their names, but there's a couple of them right now, and I'm just like, holy
Yeah.
shit! Someone needs to take their platform away immediately.
Yeah, it's so unhealthy, and and then that's going to create another round of people coming in and telling people what they do and they don't feel and how it's invalid and how, it just creates such an unhealthy and unsafe um like space to be in, because at that point in your time you're really vulnerable. You're very you just want answers, and you're just so afraid and you don't know what's going on. So of course you're going to hop on anything that just feels right.
Yeah.
And having that be your outlet it's scary. It's like, it's like I'm just gonna compare it to when you're a young man and you see Andrew Tate,
Ugh.
and
No,
you're
literally.
like, yes, I want a Bugatti, I want to go to Dubai, I want to provide for my family, I want a wife that stays home, cooks, cleans, yada yada. It just, at that point, it's because as a kid it's like, I don't know what to do, like this and that. You're impressionable, and then you come into the situation where you're like, oh, this guy's got it figured out.
Yep.
This guy must know what he's doing, and he's got it right. So let me, in this moment, follow whatever he says so I can be that successful one day too.
Dude, seriously. And one of the things, um, it's like there's always a divide in a group. There's always a divide in a group about whatever. Like everyone is gonna disagree on something. Everyone's gonna do this. But I feel like in these times that we are in right now, there
Mm-hmm.
should not be internal fucking wars when we should not focus on that and we should focus on the fucking war that's being literally fought or whatever against us as a whole. Just because I'm not pointing at you, but like I'm pointing
Yeah.
at those people. Just because
Mm-hmm.
you agree with them doesn't mean they're gonna fall backwards and clean your feet.
Right.
You are the people that they are currently attacking.
It's like, for example, what is that? There was one social media. I totally forgot her name. She was this white woman, and she was a trans woman, and she deplatformed and just totally got rid of being in the LGBT community and sided with the conservative community and became a part of the conservative TikTok, side or whatever. And she thought like, oh, cool, if I marginalized myself within this community, then I won't get hate. I'll be protected. And then they end up bullying her too. And she's like, what the fuck? So she tries to go back to the obviously tries to go back to the queer space, and they're
Right.
like, no, it's not all sunshines and rainbows over here, bitch. Like, you tore us down, left us to go be with the conservatives, and then try to come back like nothing ever happened. Like, no, you need to
Yep.
formally apologize to the community, own up to your mistakes, and then we'll think about what's the next step. And so she did. She apologized, and she basically just said, like, honestly, I've had a really big problem with people pleasing, and I just assumed that if I were to go to the conservative side, I would just stop feeling so out of place, and this isn't that. So
Right.
basically, she went there with all the wrong, everything just wrong, and it took a really long time and it's still taking a really long time. I don't even think the queer community has like accepted her back into that space
No,
because
I know
what
who
she
you're
did was
talking
so,
about.
yeah, because it was so damaging what she did. It was awful. I've only seen clips of it, but just demonizing people just so she can feel validated and feel good about herself.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. I was like, girl, come on. Oh, come on. They don't like
Dude,
you either.
seriously.
They literally don't like you either.
Yeah, it's like, well, now look what you did. You burned the house down and try to go somewhere else, and now you're trying to come back.
Like I always say, can't throw a bomb in a house and expect shit not to get broken.
Well, yeah, it's like you created the disaster and you got to come back to the broken pieces.
Exactly. And now you're stupid. And you were stupid then, and then now you're stupid now.
It's like, oh yeah, now you're a fucking like
Yeah, it
now
was
like
crazy.
you literally like created the problem and now you just think it's something like, oh, I'm just gonna come back and hope you guys don't mind if I sit right here. Girl,
You're not sitting at my
if you
table.
don't get your ass out of this seat, we finna have a problem.
No, literally. Yeah, that was a big one. I I I can't say that I ever like went conservative on them. I think there was one point in my time where my family was trying to like kind of brainwash me into it. And they were like,
Hmm.
"But look, it's not that bad what he's saying." And I'm like, "Well, okay, in this very specific sense, no, he kind of makes sense." And then the next fucking word out of his mouth was something crazy, and I'm like, "No, literally, this guy's an idiot." But if we talk about politics, I will get so pissed because I'm so pissed at politics right now. It's so fucking
Dude,
annoying. That's why I started this stupid podcast because I'm like they're not about to fucking
need
silence.
somewhere to just like vent and just talk about it.
Yeah, and they're not gonna fucking silence queer voices anymore. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm so sick of it. I'm so
I'm
sick.
tired of this, Grandpa.
I'm tired of this shit, Grandpa. Please. Hey, hey guys. Um, Stop fucking being fucking weird and transphobic. It's freaking pissing me off. And you're gonna see another side of me that's.
You're gonna get me angry.
You're gonna get me angry. So uh when you were like in school and shit, was there other trans people there, or were you
Um,
the only one?
honestly, like I don't okay, so it's really weird. So when I first came out, right, there was no trans people in my school. That's why I felt like I had a target on my back essentially. And then immediately once I came out, actually no, never mind. I think there was one trans guy, but he presented feminine. So a lot of people didn't really acknowledge that he was a trans man. Even I didn't know who this was, so I didn't assume he was a trans man. Um, until they told me about him afterwards. But basically, as far as I was aware, I was the first trans man to come out in my high school and get my name changed on like all my documents in high school. Um, and then quickly afterwards, there was like another trans man that came out that I knew, and he came out, and I was like, "Oh, that's sick." And then another person came out, and it was kind of just like really cool because I just seen all these other people I knew start to come out because I would post on social media like, "Hey, I'm trans, um, this and that," and that kind
Yeah,
of led them to be like, "Oh, maybe I'm trans." And then I had some other people down the line texting me like, "Hey, how the fuck do you get on testosterone?" And I'd have to tell them like, "Hey, like." It's not that easy. Like you
yeah,
gotta,
you gotta
it's
like do
not
the whole thing.
right. And I became so I don't know. I came into the stage of like I just liked educating people on it.
Yeah, that's how I was. There was
Yeah.
only like there was like two masked lesbians, no trans people, and then I came out, and then one of those masked lesbians came out as trans, and then not. I don't think it wasn't. It was till my maybe my junior year or my senior year where there was like three other people who came out as trans, and I did I was like in music, so I was like always performing and stuff for the school.
Hmm.
And um, later on, like maybe like a year or two after I graduated, I got like a message from this one kid, and he was like, "If you didn't perform and like do all those things, I wouldn't have ever like had the guts to come out and present um in high school and shit." But there would always be people messaging me about like, how did you know that you liked girls and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and I would always answer, I was always talk about it. But it wasn't until after I graduated where people were trying to hit me up for trans advice. And I was like, damn,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Because there's one of the big ones was there was this senior um, pageant for senior guys that I always wanted to be in, and I got to be in it, and I did it, and it was the whole thing, and that's when everyone was like, they started popping over all around, like,
Yeah, so I noticed that too. There was just like it just kind of went off. Like there were so many
yeah,
people and they would just talk to me about it and we became friends. Like some of them I still talk to
yeah,
and a lot of the times in a way I started to see other trans men as like not a threat but like that's when I started to see people as a competition.
yeah,
And I was like, well, I have to be like I have to look masculine the most.
yeah,
Like I would like show up to class every day because I shared I shared a class with the majority of these people,
right,
and that's how they would know me and follow me and stuff on Instagram. But I just remember being like, okay, I need to be the best.
yep.
That's when something in my brain kind of switched, where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be the best at all you guys. And
I'm
I
actually the
started,
best.
yeah, so I started like competing. I mentally like competed with a lot of people, and I carried that with me for a very long time. I probably like until like like the beginning of 2023 is when I started kind of just being like, I don't want to be like this anymore. Like I was just like, I'm so tired of competing. Like I'm so tired of caring about the way I look.
Yeah,
The worst I had it though was like in like 2021 to 2022. Like I think that's also the tiniest like I've ever been. Like it was, I wasn't eating. Like I would work out every single day. I like food was my enemy because if I ate food, like I would just get big, and I was like, I'm just not gonna eat. So I would drink a lot of water. I would work out constantly. I don't know if you remember, but like I was just like super tiny around that time. Like
yeah,
I was tiny, and I my main goal was that I have to be the most fit motherfucker. Like I just have to look good because when I
yeah,
looked good, that means I was more masculine. If I was more masculine, I like passed more and so on and so forth. So it was just so consuming. Like it consumed my life, it consumed my social life, and if I couldn't have it, like I was just angry at everyone.
yeah,
And so it sent me into like this depression. And around like 2022 it was like probably the most depressed and angry I've ever been in my life, where I was taking it out on every single person in my life. And I hurt a lot of people. Like I hurt a lot of people in my life, and at that point in time, I didn't think it was bad. I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. I had a really bad victim complex,
yeah,
and I was like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like I'm a good person, and I beat around the bush a lot. Like it was pretty bad until I more recently, like I started going to therapy the past year, and being able to like reach out to those resources and talk about it. I was able to realize like, oh my God, like I low key am like not a good person. Like I like should probably change something. Like I should actually like seek help and go about this in the correct manner instead of just suppressing my feelings and kind of just raw dogging life because I'm like, well, look at me, I'm raw dogging life and I don't
right,
have a problem. I'm able to conduct myself and control myself, and when in reality I was so out of control that I didn't even realize that I was so out of control. And that's like a
damn,
really scary point, like where I was like, I felt like I was so good that I didn't even realize I was fucking like carrying these narcissistic tendencies every day in my life and like projecting that onto the people I love the most until one day those people around me chose to go a different path and cut me out of their life, rightfully so. So I was like, damn, like I need to change something because the people around me are leaving and I am just sitting here not doing anything about it. Like it's something within me, that toxic masculinity, it's got to stop now, and the only way it's going to stop is if like I seek help.
yeah,
And
literally,
so one day I just literally just started going to therapy, and it's helped expeditiously. Like, I never thought therapy would be my thing. I didn't grow up in a very high therapy household. My mom thought therapy was stupid. She thought, why do you need to go and talk to somebody about your emotions? Like, that's what your partner is for. That's what your friends are for. When in reality, having that unbiased person, and that person that they have a degree for a reason, I would say, for the most part. Like,
Right.
they're there to be a guide. They're there to give you that unbiased opinion that those friends aren't able to give you, because in reality they are biased. Like, they want what's best for you, so they're probably going to tell you what you want to hear half the time.
No,
So
literally.
it's important to just like have that point in your life where you're just like, damn, like, I I want to actually do the work and do what feels like me. And for the first time in like years, I actually don't really feel afraid to be myself. And I don't feel afraid to enjoy things in life and be self conscious about those things and worry about if it makes me be perceived of less than a man, or if it makes me seem more like a woman. It's one of those things where I was like, damn, like, I actually feel pretty content, and it's helped a lot with, my friendship group, my relationship. It does it's just crazy. It's just crazy how that one little thing can help so many things. And I really hope men in the trans community, and women too in the trans community, that they just take the time to like center themselves, because we get so caught up in like being wanting to be somebody that we wanted to be for so long that we forget like where we started, and like who
Right.
was with us the entire time. And that, and in the beginning, like, it's just like that little person that's just still inside you, that's just excited to finally be who they are. Don't disappoint them.
No, literally. Can't do that, man.
Yeah, it's so I just think toxic masculinity is gonna happen. Unfortunately, we can't have a
Yeah.
perfect society. It's gonna happen,
Nope.
but as long as you learn from it, I feel like
Yes.
it's the most important part.
Yeah, for definitely growing and aging, like maturing, you learn so much about yourself. I know, like, in the last 2 years, I would say,
Mhm.
maybe 2.5 years, I have learned so much about myself. And I like dropped like old habits, and I'm like, oh shit, wait, this is actually pretty nice to not have to worry about stuff. I feel like the big ones were like just trying to please people's view of me. I always wanted to be seen as like a really good person that was really nice and stuff. But like now, I still want to be seen as a good person, but like that's not just being seen as a good person, that's like actually being a good person.
Yeah, it's like you're
That's
not doing
deep.
it just because you want to be perceived as something. You're doing it because you're like, this feels fucking good, and I like the community it surrounds me in. Because if you're a good person, you surround yourself by good people, it rubs off.
Exactly. So I don't. That's why I like don't have a lot of the friends that I used to have because they're fucking stupid. Well, they weren't
Right.
stupid, but they are kind of stupid. But they just weren't good people, and they uh, rubbed off on me in some ways.
Yeah.
Didn't love that. Didn't love that. Hey,
Yeah.
didn't love that.
Well, yeah, it's hard not to gain those characteristics being surrounded by it every day. Just, it's like your family. You grow up around it. It's going to become a part of you eventually, but it's not forever. I mean, if you acknowledge it's not something you want it to be a part of your life and it's negative, then you just got to put in the work.
Deadass. Leaving my family, like moving away from my family, best
Dude,
decision
yes.
I've ever made.
Yes. Literally, yes. Like, moving
And
away
I don't
from
care if y'all see
Bakersfield.
this.
Right. Like, moving from Bakersfield, with all love and respect, like, moving away from Bakersfield and going to Sacramento had to be the best decision of my life. It was the hardest decision, and I still struggle every day. I miss my family, but it's one of those situations where I definitely have to love my family from a distance. And it's made my connection with my family stronger, because you really, the time you are with them, you really appreciate the time you have, because you're gonna have to go home within the next few days. So it's kind of nice in some ways, and I think it just works best for me.
Yeah. No, literally. It's nice. Especially, oh man, I don't know what. what I would be doing right now if I was around my family during the election. Hell no.
Bro, I don't even know what I'd be doing like if I still lived in Bakersfield. Like, I don't even know. Like, like, and you know what? I don't think about it a lot because I'm here for a reason, and I've taken those steps to be here, and there's not a day in my life where I regret it.
No, literally. I love it up here. Don't ever catch me back in that damn small ass town. That's stupid. Don't
Seriously,
ever
yeah,
catch
you're
me back
telling
there.
me. You're telling me. But all
That
love to
place
Bakersfield, though.
sucks.
I mean, Bakersfield is, I mean, it's not horrible. I still got a lot of people there that I love. One day we finna get you out. We gonna break those cages. We gonna show you the world.
Yeah. Um. My family's cool, but that town can actually fall off the face of the planet. And I don't feel sad that I said that. I meant that. That's so true.
Facts.
That place is the
Say
worst
it with your
fucking place.
chest. With your chest.
With my chest.
Period.
Cancel me.
I don't
Cancel
think
me.
people would cancel you. I think people would actually encourage you to say that.
Maybe. Maybe.
Oh
But
yeah, you have that little. You always got that percentage.
that's true. That's true.
Hmm.
Let's see. Well, I fear that we've hit the time that we need to hit.
Oh yeah.
What else? Anything else? Anything else on your noggin?
Um, I don't know. I just think that I think just like you just gotta have a lot of love for yourself and respect for yourself. But you're only really gonna get to that point if you start putting yourself first and start prioritizing the things you need to do. And I'm not saying put yourself first meaning be selfish, but just really be conscious of the people that are in your life currently if while going through the process, if you are going through the process of transitioning, or even after transitioning, you're at that point where you feel you're satisfied. Just be conscious of the people around you because they really make and break who you are, um, not just like mentally, but spiritually, physically. Just have that positive energy in your life and surround yourself with that positive energy because it really affects who you are at the end of the day. Everybody has a right to individually have individual experiences regardless of the groups they're in, but I'm telling you, it really does rub off on you um, when you surround yourself with people like that. But just love yourself and don't be afraid to be who you are at the end of the day. It's gonna take a lot of energy and a lot of situations where you're gonna find yourself having to choose some things, but I don't know, just prioritize your happiness. And also, I don't know, just kind of center yourself and like take a step back and put yourself in other people's shoes because that's something I wish I did a lot more. I wish I took the time to like stop, victimizing my situation and thought of other people. And I don't know, maybe my frontal lobe connected one day. Maybe it didn't, I don't know. But one day I kind of just for a second I was like, I don't know, I think I need to think more logical about certain situations and it's led me here. I would like to say I've grown. It's taken a lot of time and growing is never linear and it's never easy, but taking the initial step to grow is the first step that you're, making good progress.
That's true. That's very true.
Hmm.
Gotta lock in.
You gotta lock the fuck in.
You gotta lock the fuck in. You gotta realize what you want. And then once
Because
you
it's
realize
bush
what you
summer,
want,
baby. Bush out, bush beer, apple citrus, and we got what is it? What other flavor is there? Peach.
peach. I thought that you said bush out
Peach.
summer, like bush.
No, yeah, I mean like we getting our bushes out while drinking some bush. The
Haha,
fuck?
got you. So we did mean bush.
We
Yeah,
having bush
bush,
on bush action. I'm
bush
talking
out summer.
two bushes on a paddleboard, and with two beers in her hand.
Yes,
That's
yes.
it.
And a six pack in the cooler.
And a six pack in the fucking cooler. Fuck
Six pack
America.
in the fucking cooler.
Hell
Well,
yeah. Oh my god.
You heard it here, folks. You need to lock in. You need to prioritize yourself.
Yes.
And don't let the people that are sad in their own lives get into yours because you just wanna be yourself. You don't want that. You don't
Yes.
need that negative energy in your heart.
Being yourself is like the coolest thing to do. Like
Literally.
don't become a statistic. Don't swim with the fishes, swish away like swim away from the fishes. Like be cool. Like I really wish I would have done that, but it's brought me to where I am. And if you gotta go through that character development, God bless your soul, sweetheart. But
Get
you'll
to do
get
what you
there.
get to do. You're
We will
gonna
all
get
get
there.
there eventually. Some have longer paths than others, but as long as you get there, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you wanna plug any social medias or anything?
Um, you guys can follow me on Instagram. It's X Hollowhead X. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. And
Yeah, I think
then
so.
yeah, it like my name is like Trail Mix Lover because I love trail mix. One thing about me is I love me some fucking trail mix.
You gotta have the trail mix.
I gotta have it.
You gotta have the trail mix, bro.
Oh
Hell yeah.
hell yeah.
Well,
Whee!
friends, thank you for listening. I hope that this fed your hunger for a yap session.
Mm-hmm.
Because you guys have been bugging the hell out of me about posting an episode, and I've been putting it off because I'm a procrastinator. Okay, don't fucking judge me. What do you want from me? What do you want from me, actually? But yes, much love to you guys. Thank you for quacking with us,
Thank you.
faggots.
Oh,
Roll out. That's a good exit.
auto faggots roll out.
Auto faggots, roll out. Goodbye. Love you. Goodbye.
Love you.
Love you. Bye.